Hi everybody, Pai-chan here, and today we're going to be talking about a little show called Metropolis. And this time I'm not going to put up any pictures on what the characters look like and all that because this week I am actually extremely busy and I'm not sure if I will have time to do that. So I'm sorry for that, everyone. But as we get into that, I'm pretty sure I'm going to get into spoilers because this is just a movie, but it's really sweet but sad and cautionary tale. So, I'm pretty sure I'm going to get into it. So, let's do this right now. Warning. Spoilers are ahead. All right. That little pop-up is probably going to be the most editing that I'm going to do on this video because like I said, I've got a lot going on this week. So I'm sorry if you're expecting to see pictures of the characters pop up and they don't pop up. Like like I've been doing with the rest of my videos. But I'm going to follow the same scheme, talk about the characters, the art style, the music, and then go on a little summary of how the story goes. Well, the first character we have is the character Kenichi, though it never I'm pretty sure that's his last name, though it never actually says. And this is actually the nephew of the inspector that goes to Metropolis to help out, which I'll talk about him a little later. But he goes in search of they go there in search of a scientist, and he, like I said, he comes with his uncle as pretty much like a helper or something like that. And it kind of sets everything up with them, like its character. He is a really kind, loving, and caring character. Like a lot of the characters that I've watched. Well, the pretty much quote unquote heroes anyway. And they go there. There's a few things that happen, and he winds up pretty much that after he winds up finding a girl, which I'll get into her next before the uncle because she's the next main character. Then it really starts building on his character, the way he reacts with all the other people, and how much responsibility he feels taking care of this girl because he thinks she's just lost her memory. So he winds up taking care of her through everything, and then when she finally realizes who, or should I say, well, I'm not going to spoil that right now. I'll get into that here when I talk about her, but when he goes and it goes through and it shows just how responsible this character is and all that. And you don't really see much growth in the character throughout the story because I like the way they do this. They don't really have this character or all but the girl grow as much. You just start seeing more and more aspects of their personality coming out to the light. And that's how it kind of has their character grow. And then in the end, he does grow a bit because of what happens at the end, which, with something traumatic happening like that happens to him, they will either they will change in one way or another as a character in real life, or if they write it good in fantasy. That is the one time when I think it is appropriate to do just like pretty much they're going at a good pace and then the character does a sudden development. That is, like I said, that is the only time when I feel that sudden development is okay, actually necessary. Some in is necessary, that they'll change in one way or another. Well, the next character, which is the girl that I was talking about, is named, I'm pretty sure it's Tima. Sorry, I'm used to doing that with doing the reviews when I say the characters' names. It's become more of a habit, even with a few videos that I've done. But she's the girl that he rescues from a fire. And pretty much they fall and all that, and they get saved by a robot, but it makes you think through most of the movie that she's just lost her memory. When actually, and here's a spoiler that I was gonna say before, she didn't lose her memory. Well, she kind of did, kind of didn't. I'm not exactly sure how you portray it. I think it's pretty much that you could portray it how you want, whether she lost her memory because of the traumatic thing, that the fire or whatever, it rattled her, or her memory hasn't quite awakened yet. So there's that. But you find out at the end she's actually not human. And I'll go back to Kenichi for a minute. It is the uncle towards the end. Well, actually, no, I'll save that for when I'm talking about the story, because you have to know a bit. It goes with her being really confused and everything about the world around her, because she's just woken up and she has no memories or doesn't know anything about what's going on around her. So with all this, with how quickly she is sort of developed as a character, it actually makes sense. Unlike some others where they develop really quickly, the character very quickly, when it's like they've been alive for how long and they haven't developed, and they just all of a sudden develop like this. No, that is not realistic. But in this case, it actually is a very realistic scenario. Well, then you have the uncle that Kenichi comes with, which I forget his name. It starts with an S, and they come from Japan, so it's like an oriental name. So I forget what it is. But he's an inspector going after the one that actually created Tima. Which he winds up dying in the fire, and the uncle almost winds up saving him, but the scientist told him that he would rather him preserve this notebook, which he does and all that. And he is very prim and proper. He doesn't really get he does get a little bit of development, but like I said, this happens over like maybe the course of a few days. So a little bit of a development, is okay. It's that he realizes something about himself, which this whole thing goes through, with going through everything that he goes through with all of it. So that's basically all there is with the uncle, is that he's an inspector going after this dude, and then after things shift, he notices some things going on, and his investigator instincts implore him to check it out. And it turns out that it was a good thing that he did, because if he hadn't, things would have ended up badly. So now that we're done, well, they also get assigned a robot, but that he is kind of a like he helps out in a few things, but it's like okay, and you know why he's there and all that, but he doesn't make a really big impression. So that's it for those guys. But then there is the character Rock, I'm pretty sure they call him. And he is the son of Duke Red, which I'll get into next. Or at least the adopted son, though he is very, very loyal to his father, though Duke Red does not want him calling him that. Pretty much saying, I'm not your father and all that. But pretty much, he is the only parent this kid has ever known. So, of course, he'd call him father and respect him and all that, the way he does. So, he goes and finds out about Tima, about the plans and everything through his mind, not knowing exactly what they are. Sorry about that. With the stuff that's going on, I'm a little stressed, and I'm having a little bit of trouble sleeping. So I'm a little tired, even though at the moment it's a little early for me. But he winds up finding out about that, and he's actually the one that burned the lab down and is off looking for him, not knowing exactly what's going on, but just knowing, pretty much just knowing snippets and assuming everything. And pretty much think about how assume is spelled, and you'll get why he freaking screwed up big time. So it goes through all of that, and so it goes through him chasing after Kenichi and Tima until he finally his father disgraces him and all that, and he goes into a depression, and a few other things happen. It's kind of sad what happens to him in the end, but pretty much for him, it was the best outcome he could have hoped for. So next, as I said, next is Duke Red. And he is the big, I'm not sure if he is completely evil, but he is deranged. And him thinking, pretty much, he wants to put Tima up on a throne, and Tima is actually created in the image of his dead daughter. So I think it's more of a grieving parent than anything else. Which, honestly, wanting something to commemorate the life of to commemorate a dead child, I can completely understand that. The way he goes about it, that's a different story. Creating Tima in the image, creating Tima in the image of his daughter and all that. Cool, that's fine. Treat her like a daughter. The daughter that you lost. Okay, fine. What he actually is planning, that's what's screwed up. So, and I will say this: as the saying goes, it comes back to bite him in the end. And he doesn't really have much growth. Pretty much, after the fire, he thinks that Tima is destroyed, and then they wind up meeting up again later on. And he is shocked and surprised that she's actually alive. Okay, so now with the art style. The art style is okay. You can tell it's a bit of an older style. The one thing I cannot get over, which it is going to dock the points from this, is how big the freaking noses are. It's the shape of the Duke's freaking nose and a few of the other noses. Every time they came on screen, that was just the commanding presence. Is like, why the hell? Sorry. Why the heck did they put the noses? Why did they have to draw the noses like that? They were huge. And I mean, not like normal huge. You know, a reasonable level. It's like if I took this brush and put it on there, it's almost like I took the brush and put it on there and that'd be my nose. They were just about that bad. Well, I might be exaggerating there, but maybe like that part of the nose, but still, that is still pretty freaking bad. And that is the one thing, you know, it was like the older, smoother style, but that was the one thing that I gotta knock it for. I'm sorry, I gotta knock it for. So, as you guys can tell, this is not gonna be the first one that gets the perfect score. Now, the music, the tone that it sets when it comes in, it emphasizes the somber atmosphere of the whole thing, where it has the hierarchy and all that. And it's not playing through the whole thing, just through certain chosen places, which are more of the somber notes, except for like at first, and the first time it plays, well, the somber music, like the oldie, you know, the oldish sounding music, it plays a little bit into the story, the way that they do it. So I'm not going to count that one, because that one's just kind of thrown in there for the story aspect. But the rest of it, where they bring it in, it very much fits the mood of what's going on. And they chose the pieces very well. Including at the end, I kind of fast forwarded through it, but I listened to a little bit of it. And the one that I watched was the dub, so the music at the end, there weren't any others that actually had words to it, but the words in the ending song were in English. So there was that. Now, for the story itself, like I said, it starts off with Kenichi and his uncle coming to town and them going through everything. And then meeting, it kind of like pretty much just kind of introducing everybody and them seeing sort of how unused to the town that they are. And then it goes through where it actually picks up is where the fire starts, which is maybe a good 10-15 minutes through the movie, maybe. And then the rest of it just kind of takes off from there. And it, where it chooses to actually reveal things, it doesn't bombard you with it all at once. So I will give it that. And there is pretty much a big shocker at the end. And this one is, I forget what they call the tower. It starts with a Z, but it's like pretty much it's what the Tower of Babel was, the name for like the towers that they would build back then. And it actually is a cautionary, it actually is pretty much, it kind of goes along the same lines as the tale of the Tower of Babel. But instead of God, it's actually Tima, which is the one that pretty much comes to bite Duke Red, that pretty much is the one that destroys the tower for Duke Red. So that was a spoiler, I will say that, but I'm not gonna say how or why. But and and I'm also not gonna say how or why Rock pretty much he did the best thing he could for his father and all that. So I know that this seems, even though it's a longer video, I'm looking at the timer on there, it seems a little rushed. That's because, and I'm not quite sure what to say. I'm sorry about that. I wanted to get a video up for you guys, pretty much a review for today. Since I'm planning on doing the review I'm planning on doing next, it's actually going to key into what I'm planning on doing for Monday and the Monday and next Monday. So watch out for that. But it's going to be of a show that I really enjoy, and it's not only going to be the actual first season, but it's also going to be the OVA, because there's only one and that's it for it. So it's not that much extra. It's like instead of being well, I will tell you how many episodes. Instead of being like 10 episodes, it's 11, and the OVA does continue the story of it. I know, because I'm reading the series as right now. I've actually got it on my, not this stack, but this big one. This big stack. I actually have them separated because I'm planning on taking this smaller stack over to my grandma's tomorrow. But this big stack, it's actually this one right here. Oh, wrong way. It's this one right here. So I actually am reading the series. Now, time for my little show and tell thing. I actually got a new one of these on the off of eBay, but it's different than this one. So and all that. That's why I'm showing this to you now. And this is a Sailor Moon bag that I got up at a store in Oregon called what's it called? Morning Glory. And yes, I did get a wallet to match. It's just the wallet that matches my bag over there hasn't come in as of yet. But I do know that I'm not going to show you that one for the next review. I'm not going to show you the wallet for the next review. I might show it for the one after. But as you can tell, this bag has seen better days. Because this bag is actually about 10 years old, around there. So it's got that. It's got a tear. The lining here is torn. But other than that, it's been a really good bag. And for like going over to my grandma's for like an overnight sometimes. And as you can also tell, it's kind of discolored there. But I would not mind using this as like an overnight bag after it gets a wash. But this bag, it has a big pouch here, and it has a small pouch here that would usually be for putting your wallet. But again, it's got a hole. This pouch here has a hole. So I just don't use it. Well, I didn't. And it's got this big piece, and then smaller pouches here, which this part here zips up. And with this, it has a metal ring here. The new one that I got has a plastic one, so I'm going to get a carabiner for when and if that breaks. I'm going to get one to match, which means I'm going to be getting a black one. And I wouldn't be surprised if you could get a bag like this bag here off of eBay, which I'm going to be going off the price that I paid for that. I paid like $41 for my new bag, so this one I think would be like 30 something maybe. So, because the new one that I got is a bit bigger. So that's that. And let me go grab the wallet that I had to match. I'm not going to show you what's in it, but I'm going to grab the wallet and show you that I actually do have one that matches the bag there. And you guys might have seen this before, but yeah, see? Sailor Moon bag, Sailor Moon wallet. That's just something. And like I said, the bag that I got over there, I got another wallet coming that will actually match the bag that I just grabbed that out of. Well, and this movie is going to be on Kiss Anime. I think I might put that in the description. Not the one for Metropolis specifically, but kissanime.com, because it's a pretty good one. It's the one that I use when I can't find it on Crunchyroll. So, anyway, if you want to contact me, you can go to my DeviantArt or Twitter accounts, which will be down in the description. And as always, like, comment, and subscribe for more videos coming soon. Well, thanks everybody. See ya!